In California, a felony, by definition, is a crime for which the maximum penalty is more than a year in jail. So if you're charged with a crime for which you potentially could get more than a year of custody time, then by definition it's a felony. Now, felonies tend to be your more serious crimes: murder, arson, rape, domestic violence with serious injuries. There's also a big class of crimes that we call wobblers. Wobblers are offenses that can be charged as a felony or a misdemeanor, depending on the facts of the individual case. Domestic violence is a good example. Domestic violence in Penal Code Section 273.5 is a wobbler. It can be charged as a felony or a misdemeanor, depending on the person's prior record and whether there's serious injuries in the particular case. Now, if you're convicted of a felony, there's a lot of negative repercussions. You will be put on felony probation. You'll have to report to a probation officer. You'll have to reside in the county where you're convicted. You'll have to pay a lot of money to the probation department. You'll be prohibited from owning, using, or possessing a firearm probably the rest of your life. You'll be prohibited from serving on a jury. And many employers refuse to hire convicted felons, so it can make it very difficult to get a job in the future. If you're charged with a crime that's a felony, you want to do everything that you can either to get it reduced to a misdemeanor or dismissed, but keep that felony off your record. I had a client recently who was charged with robbery. He was a young man, 19 years old, and the evidence was pretty overwhelming that he had done it. But the problem is, robbery is a straight felony. It's not a wobbler. It cannot be reduced to a misdemeanor. And if he was convicted, then he would be a convicted felon the rest of his life. We were able to work out a deal with the prosecutor to change the charge to a theft, to a grand theft charge, and allow him to plead as a misdemeanor. Consequently, he was able to avoid being a convicted felon, and we kept the felony off of his record.